It's time for another carrier product update. Tune in as we talk directly to the carriers about their new plans, any new network options they have, or which plan designs offer the most savings, and learn about the tools and resources they offer to help you generate more business. Visit our website to learn about all of the carriers we quote in our Carrier Product Update series.
Hello and welcome back to our Carrier Product Update series. This is our Q4 Kickoff Summit. I'm Jason Powers and joined by a very good friend of mine, Kim Williams of Aetna. Welcome to this is your first time.
This is my first time, Jason.
I'm so
thank
excited.
you. Thank you so much for having me today.
I don't want to make Daryl feel bad, but I'm glad Daryl couldn't be here today.
Yes, Daryl's traveling, so I'm the lucky one.
Love it. Well, Aetna's a wonderful partner of ours. We are a general agent contracted with Aetna, so everything that we do with agents out in the market, our services don't cost you or your client anything additional in the premium. Aetna's contract with us is to pay us our general agent override, and you receive 100% of the producer and production credit. So, so it's a great partnership. For those that aren't familiar with Aetna, which I think would be tough to say in a market like this, but for an agent that may not be familiar with Aetna, what can you kind of sum up as sort of Aetna's position in the market?
Well, we're very strong in the marketplace. Aetna was actually the first carrier to come up with the level funded product for small group. We've been very successful at it, and we have a lot of value added benefits to our plans.
I remember when the AFA product was kind of hitting the test market segment.
Yes.
Way back.
Right about the Affordable Care Act.
Yeah, way back.
And I think we had to look for another way.
Yeah.
To offer, cost-effective benefits.
Yeah, it's interesting to see the graduation of the product and the more sophistication of the product over time. You certainly have. As a company, I think have listened to market feedback, listened to member experience, and built a product that I think stands really tall in the market. And agents that are maybe not giving Aetna a look probably ought to rethink what they're doing in their strategy, rethink and consider it for their small group cases for sure.
Absolutely.
So let's get into what's new, because we've got some exciting stuff to share. I think that agents haven't heard yet. So
okay.
I think there's maybe some breaking news coming
soon.
Here soon, right here, and this you're gonna hear it first right here.
Yes, you will.
All right, let's jump into it.
As many of you know, we have the I-35 network. Used to be called the I-35 network, and these are predominantly hospitals that followed the I-35 corridor. Well, we've increased that network significantly, and so we've renamed the I-35 network the KC Care Network Plus. There's a map up here that shows the different areas that we have providers. In this network, we have every single hospital in the greater Kansas City area with the exception of St. Luke's. So this is a very good network to use as a base network. You do have to reside within certain counties to be able to enroll in this network. But we're very excited about the addition of the hospitals and expanding that footprint.
And I think this is a great name change. I think the I-35 name was I think it described.
Originally,
obviously, right?
It described that I-35 corridor where we had the hospitals, but as we expanded,
I think as you expand, you have other hospitals that maybe aren't on I-35. It helps kind of paint the picture. This is a Kansas City specific network. This can be paired with the larger Choice POS2 product that can be offered to anybody outside those service area, but certainly is a great cost-saving alternative.
It's also important to note, Jason, that members have reciprocity to our national CPOS network as well. So if they're traveling or they're needing care in another state, they'll be able to access that. They're not just limited to this specific network.
It's just in Kansas City, if they're in those service areas looking for providers, they need to stay in that network. But outside of that, you get the wrap of the national product. That's great. Love it. Love it. I love the name change too.
I do
KC
too.
Care.
So we had some plans that were called Essentials or the Open Access Select, which were really EPO plans. They didn't have an out-of-network benefit. We weren't getting much mileage with those plans just because there wasn't enough cost savings between the Essentials and our standard CPAS plans. So as you can see, we're going to be moving away from Essentials, and we're going to migrate those popular Essential plans over to our standard plans. So they will see those effective 9/1 on a new portfolio.
Got it. And those standard plans existed before. These aren't new plans.
Correct.
They're just mapping members from the Essentials over to the standard product.
Yeah, that's correct, except for that last one, that 9100. So that is a value plan. So our value plans look and operate very much like an HSA plan, but they're not HSA qualified. So they're going to be actually, our lower cost plans. But again, don't qualify as an HSA.
Just because they're higher deductibles and higher out of pockets.
Correct.
Got it.
So that would be the one new one.
Yep.
Yeah. Premier plans, we are adding these to our portfolio 10/1. As you know, a lot of the grandfathered plans are moving, particularly grandfathered Blue Cross Blue Shield plans. I'm moving away from ACA, and so Aetna's looking for a way to closely match those plans so they have something to move to that's similar. The Premier plans are going to be richer in benefit. You could see that they do have a $20 copay for primary care and $40 for specialist, and then $0 on lab and x-ray. So again, lower cost sharing to our members on these plans.
Yeah, and there's 8 of these that are added to the portfolio effective 10/1, and
That's
really
correct.
That's something for everybody to know. These are all of these changes. Aetna does a product refresh in
Every 9/1.
September,
We do.
but these are plans that will be available effective 10/1 effective
10/1.
dates.
And
Got
you'll
it.
see those on your proposals coming out. Yeah.
Got it. I love this one.
No, this is one I'm really excited about.
Yeah.
So 10/1, we're rolling out the over-the-counter health solution. So each one of our members will be given a $25 allowance each quarter, and they can use that for any CVS brand products. So it's predominantly anything that's FSA qualified. So, cough syrup, Band-Aids, ibuprofen, anything of that nature that's CVS brand. They will get $25 allowance per member. So you can see if you have a family of 4, it's $400 a year.
Yeah.
Now that $25 doesn't carry over each quarter, so you have to make sure that you use it, because if you don't, you lose it. No rollover.
Got it.
They have several ways. I think on our next slide it will show there's several ways that they can access. There's several ways that they can access this benefit. So they can go into the store and show their member ID card at the checkout. The cashier will put in their member ID number and apply that allowance at the time of sale. They can also go online to cvs.com and they can order online, and they can also order over the phone. The one thing is, if they're not in the store, they have to meet that exact $25 or be a little bit under it, because we don't have a way for them to pay an additional cost over the allowance.
Sure.
If they're in the store, then they can.
Sure. Makes
But
sense.
no, very excited about this benefit. I think it's huge.
Yeah, we've because this rolled out for 9/1 with the product refresh. We've already seen some 9/1 cases that have been installed, 9/1 renewals that have renewed, and agents. I'll tell you, the feedback that we're getting from the agents in the market and the members that they're talking to is really positive. I think this does a really good job of kind of tying in the CVS brand and CVS ecosystem, if you will, to the healthcare delivery model that is Aetna. So it helps round things out, and we're excited about it.
Agreed. This is another benefit that I'm excited about too. Diabetic care offering. So for our members that are insulin dependent, we will cover insulin at 100%, so zero cost to our members. It does have to be an insulin, Jason, that is on the drug list as either a generic or a preferred name brand. So when you go out and look at our drug formulary, any insulins that fall into those categories, tier 1, tier 2, are going to be at a zero cost to our member.
Wow.
We're also covering all of their diabetic supplies at no cost. So their strips, their monitors, the lancets, all of that will also be covered at 100%.
And I think this speaks to the commitment to members, right?
Mm-hmm.
These are what we don't want to do in the healthcare space is put a barrier between someone who is dependent upon insulin to live.
Absolutely.
And I think it's a really responsible response from Aetna and member feedback to build a benefit that I think is valuable to those that are seeing over the last few years more barriers to getting their insulin, and it's the last thing that any agent needs is a phone call from a member who can't get their insulin.
Right.
It's different than from a member who can't get their their blood pressure medicine. Not that that's not as important, but I think insulin is one that's really critical to survival for a lot of folks.
So contributes to a number of other medical conditions.
Yeah, and it helps keep those members that are diabetic compliant with their treatment plan. So love this benefit.
This is on our virtual primary care. So as you know, CVS now owns Aetna, and part of that is offering primary care physicians to our members. So CVS has a group of physicians actually owned by CVS that our members can now access at no cost. So they can go online and make an appointment with a physician through cvs.com. It takes about 3 to 5 days to get an appointment, which is a lot quicker than if you're trying to get in with your primary care. We're seeing a real shortage in primary care doctors now.
Sure.
And for a lot of people, it could be up to 2 months to get in to see their primary care doctor. So by offering the virtual care to our members, it allows them quicker access to a physician, also to nurse practitioners and other healthcare providers. So again, all they need to do is go online and make their appointment.
I think it's important to park here for a second and differentiate this from teledoc or telemedicine.
Yes.
Right? Teledoc, telemedicine benefits, telehealth. Over the last few years, we've seen a huge increase in utilization in telemedicine benefits because of COVID. But it was telemedicine is generally for acute medical conditions, right? I woke up, I don't feel good, I need to see a doctor. Telehealth is there.
Correct.
This is adding another layer of care with virtual primary care. So we've always said in the market, telehealth is not a replacement for primary care. CVS and Aetna have partnered those two ideas together to say, well, now we have virtual primary care. So this is maybe not a replacement for.
I think it's an enhancement.
It's just an additional layer of care that can be delivered to someone who doesn't have a primary care physician relationship. Now they can access
or
one
somebody
virtually.
that has maybe transportation issues. They want to keep the relationship with their physician, but they maybe need. There are times when they need a primary care doctor, but they can't leave their house.
You got it.
So this is just a supplement. It's not replacing their relationship that they have with their doctor. And you're right, there are many ways that our members can access healthcare now. They can through Teledoc, which is still available. It's an outside vendor that Aetna uses. They don't have the consistency of the same provider with Teledoc.
Whereas
but they do with virtual care. Yeah, with virtual care, they can request the same physician over and over again.
Right. I talked to this doctor last week about this situation. I need to give them an update and talk to them about what's going on now. So it does kind of change that dynamic, I think it again, I just feel like it adds another layer. Kudos to Aetna for developing that with CVS and delivering that for our members.
And we still have Minute Clinic. Minute Clinic's a real great resource too. You can just walk into any, CVS Minute Clinic and access care.
And in the portfolio, is it all plans except for the HSA that have that at no cost?
That is correct.
Yeah. And that is CVS Minute Clinic, being able to walk in or schedule an appointment. You can go online, schedule appointments with the CVS Minute Clinics at zero cost on all plans except for HSA, which have some
It's a minimal cost.
small costs associated with it because you have to in order to be HSA compliant.
You got it.
Great.
So on our 51 to 100, we're now able to quote both AFA and level funded. So when you get a proposal, you will see that we have both options quoted. This is actually a pilot project that Aetna is doing in the states of Florida, Kansas, Missouri, and Texas. So we rolled this out 7/1 for 10/1 effective dates. And I love the fact that you get one proposal and it's got both options. Now, Jason, you'll only see about a 1% decrement in cost when you're looking at the AFA versus the fully insured. So there's not a huge cost savings, to do fully insured.
But I think for the agents that are trying to move a group off of fully insured and start thinking outside the box a little bit with level funding, to be able to show them side by side and they're both Aetna banners instead of here's a fully insured option from another carrier versus Aetna's level funded. It just it makes that conversation a little bit easier. So again, really excited about this.
Yeah, we're able to do that now. And we'll talk a little bit further about the admin credits, but admin credits will apply to both.
Yeah,
this.
I know that's I'm excited about what's coming. So
this just kind of discusses the commission levels. So these are standard defaults. In Kansas it's $30 PEPM. In Missouri it's $31. Texas and Florida it's different. But our brokers can request any level of commission that they desire. And we have moved to a PEPM across the board. It used to be a commission on fully insured, PEPM on AFA, but going forward it will just be PEPM.
Yeah, we had a conversation with a broker the other day that was talking about the difference in percentages versus PEPMs, and it helps them with their communication to clients that look, their commission isn't driven by premium, so it's not when they get a 10% increase in premium, the broker's not getting a 10% increase in pay.
Right.
They're still offering the same services at the same cost. It's really the cost of insurance that will be changing because the cost of care is changing. All of those, it just helps lead into that conversation, goes right into the claims reporting.
And it makes us fluid, across both platforms.
Yeah, I think it's becoming more standard across the industry. There's still some products out there that do percentages of, but I think that PEPM really helps change the conversation for brokers that are migrating to that consultant level delivery model.
You'll also notice there off to the right, it does make mention that we still offer the value-added plans, the CVS integration, Minute Clinic, virtual care, and the over-the-counter.
Yeah, and excluded in Missouri on the OTC benefit for 51 and 99, fully insured in AFA.
Yes, that's a Missouri
just a Missouri
mandate.
Only. Yes. And only in that space. It still applies in the small group space.
That's
the OTC
correct.
Credits. Yep.
Just some of our underwriting guidelines. We are now allowing retirees on AFA, which we
that's
hadn't.
new.
We hadn't in the past. So as long as we don't have over 10% of the total population, we're good. And then again, we mentioned the commissions will go to PEPM.
Yep.
Yeah.
Here we go.
I love this. This is our savings now and surplus later. So we've gotten a lot of mileage off of these credits.
And up until today,
yes,
this was going through 12/1 and 12/15 effective dates.
That's
but
correct.
You're here to announce that
as of today, we will run this through January. So this credit will also be available for January 1 business.
Yes.
So just a quick glance at how this works. So when you write a new group with us, General new business is going to be a $300 per subscriber.
Yeah.
So however many you have enrolled, it's $300 per head. If you have a group that is pre-ACA, they're coming off a grandfather plan, we're going to give them an additional $200. So now you're at $500 per sub. If they are a new business and they're fully insured now, or I'm sorry, level funded now, and they're in a surplus position, then we'll give them an additional $200.
Why would that be important? Because certain products, certain products do have a provision that says you have to renew in order to get that surplus.
Yes.
And so you may have a case where that renewal is a little higher than what the client is willing to accept, but they really don't want to walk away from their surplus. What Aetna is saying here is, hey, we'll give you an extra $200 admin fee credit on top of the other. These are all stackable.
Exactly.
So on top of the other credits that they apply for, you'll get an extra $200 because you're in a surplus position, and
it just helps offset that loss of the surplus from the other carrier.
And again, although the screen here says available through 12/1 effective dates, this has now been approved through January 1 of 2024 effective dates.
Correct.
So keep that in mind. You got some ideas on the side here about surplus. What's that's in addition to admin fee credits, right?
Yes, it is. So after a 12-month contract, we look at the group and we take the premium that they've paid minus the claims that Aetna's paid, and if there's money left over, that's a surplus, and the group would get 50% of that surplus back if they renew with us. So what we're saying here is if you got a group of 15, we're going to guarantee $20,000 surplus regardless.
Wow.
Now, if the
2,000.
2,000. If the group's running, well, and it's over that amount, they'll get the higher amount. But we're just guaranteeing that they're going to get something back.
So even if they have some surprises, have a terrible claims year and far exceed their loss ratio, they're guaranteed to get something back by enrolling in the AFA product.
Correct.
But they do have to renew in order to get the surplus returned, and the surplus reconciliation happens about 45 days. 45 days after the contract ends.
Yes.
And it's deposited back into the same account.
It's back into their bank account.
Yeah, it's not a credit, so it's a deposit back into the bank account.
Right, and then the
ACH
employer can
of.
do whatever they want with that.
Got it.
There's no restrictions. Yeah. So also, we have admin credits for dental and vision. We're writing a lot of dental and vision. The dental is with Aetna. It's Aetna's dental plans. And then vision is through IMED. So if you add dental to the medical, there's an additional $200 credit. And that is based upon the medical subscribers, not the dental subscribers. So depending on how many you had enroll in medical is going to be what we pay in credit for dental. So
and again, this stacks on top of the previous screen where if it's a $300 for new business and they add dental, that now they get to $500.
Right.
If they add dental and vision, it goes to $525. So it's stackable. Plus, if you have a group that has surplus position with another carrier that they're moving off of. So and I know we're probably going to talk a little bit about the Humana exit, but specifically there may be Humana cases that are in a spot where they want to get moved off of that Aetna contract into an Aetna contract. This gives them the ability to kind of walk away from any surplus position and stack these credits together.
So, for example, if you've got a new group, it's AFA surplus, and you add dental and vision, you're at $725
per subscriber.
Per subscriber.
as a one-time credit on their bill. They may not pay admin fees for the first couple of months.
Exactly.
Which is fantastic. That's great.
Yeah.
And then that stacks on top of the guaranteed surplus as well.
Correct.
All good news. That's the update.
Yeah.
Wow.
And also, Jason, just to go back with that credit, that's on fully insured as well.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so if they're fully insured, they get that credit. They wouldn't get the surplus, but they'll get that credit even through 1/1.
On their it shows up on their second invoice, I believe. So after install, second invoice comes out. That's where those credits will apply.
Right.
Well, that's fantastic. I know Aetna's been a terrific partner for us. We appreciate appreciate you coming on and giving us an update. As brokers are kind of heading out there, what any words of advice before they head out and start selling? I mean, they're already. I know they're already beating down our door for January 1 rates. Any words of advice before they head out into the great unknown?
No, just be sure to share, all of the added value benefits that Aetna has. And I just wanted to touch briefly on the Humana transition.
Yeah.
Because Aetna is looking for ways to make that transition easier for our brokers and our employer groups. So we're offering different contract months for Humana groups. So they can do anything from a 12-month up to an 18-month rate guarantee or rate contract.
Right. So we got to quote it that way, though, right? It's got to go through.
You just have to ask, do you
the,
want a 14-month or 15-month or whatever? Yes. And
so a case that that wants to come out of that Humana contract, but wants to keep their original, say they're a March 1, but they want to make the change January 1. They can keep that March 1 renewal and just do 12 plus the 2 makes 14 months.
Right.
We just have to know that on the front end, and it's specific to Humana cases. But we have to know that on the front end so that when we're quoting it with underwriting, coming back with that firm rate, that we've got the right contract in place. But that's not it. That's not all, right? There's broker incentives attached to Humana business coming off.
There's broker incentives for just the general Aetna business as well, and those can be stacked. The Humana incentives on top of the our regular incentives.
Yeah, 60 per. Is it 60 per subscriber?
Yes.
For Humana business, sort of a one-time incentive to move that. But in addition to that, you're doing deductible and out-of-pocket credits for Humana business moving over.
And Aetna, all of it. We always have given out-of-pocket credit.
Is that across the board
it's
for
across
AFA?
Across the board, yes.
I learned. See, Daryl. I learned something new from Kim. Actually, I knew that because Daryl told me that last week. Anything else specific to Humana transition?
We're GRXing down to 10 to make that process easier.
Okay.
And
specific
then down to 5.
Specific to Humana?
Yes, 5 if they're level funded.
5 if they're level funded, but we got to have the level funded claims reporting.
Correct.
Okay.
Otherwise 10.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah, trying to make it simpler for the brokers.
You heard it here. You heard it here. Well, Kim, always a pleasure to see you, and always great to hear all the new stuff going on at Aetna. Yeah. Thanks for coming out and sharing with our brokers.
Thanks, Jason. I appreciate your time and the time with the brokers as well.
Yeah. All right. So if we can help you with your Aetna quotes, be sure to reach out to our team after this video airs. We'll post it on our website under our carriers tab. Aetna starts with A, so it's the first carrier at the top.
Yes.
Right below this video will be a link to downloadable marketing flyers and more content that Kim shared with us today, so that you can share that with your prospective groups and clients. And then down below that is a button to reach out to our team to help you with your Aetna business. Thank you so much for tuning in to this Carrier Product Update. I'm Jason Powers, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you for watching this edition of our Carrier Product Update series. Visit our website to watch other episodes.